Dear children, today we will take off a lesson about government budget. As you all know that India is a federal state and we have two types of a government. One government is at the center and another government is at the state. So here we will discuss about the central government budget, which is popularly known as general budget. So general budget is passed in the Lok Sabha every year by the finance minister, especially in the month of February. It is passed and every procedure gets completed by the month of March, and from 1st April the budget is effective. Dear children, you also know that budget is a financial bill. Being a financial bill, it is passed in the Lok Sabha and it is passed in the Lok Sabha and it is sent to Rajya Sabha, and if Rajya Sabha doesn't pass and return the bill within 15 days, obviously it is assumed that it is passed in the Rajya Sabha, it is sent to President for his or her consent, and after getting consent it becomes effective. That's why government budget is for a particular financial year. So if we will go to the definition part of budget, it is exactly a financial statement of the estimated receipt and estimated expenditure of the government for a fiscal year. We have already discussed that the fiscal year starts from 1st April of a calendar year and it continues up to 31st March of the next calendar year. Therefore, in budget you will find two things. Number one, estimated receipt. Number two, estimated expenditure. Now, let's switch over to your components of a budget. So in budget, you will have two components. One is your revenue budget and the other one is your capital budget. So let me tell you, in the revenue budget, it has no effect on the assets and liability of the government, and in capital budget, all the entries affect the asset and liability of the government. That's why it is different. The heads are different. The income generating heads are also different. The sources are different. The methods are different. Everything is different because the structure is like this. So in revenue budget, we will have another two subdivision. That is your revenue receipt and capital receipt. Similarly, in capital budget also, you will find capital receipt and capital expenditure. Definitely, question will arise in your mind that how revenue receipts are different from capital receipts. Okay, let me give you one example. Suppose The government is generating income by imposing tax, and the government is also imposing income from disinvestment. Exactly. When the government creates income by imposing tax, it comes under revenue receipt because you see there is no liability of repayment of the tax collected, as well as there is no loss of government asset while collecting tax. But disinvestment gives rise to decrease in asset of the government. That's why revenue receipts does not reduce asset, does not create liability, whereas capital budget, capital receipts gives rise to either loss in asset or creation of liability. And similarly, your revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. So in revenue expenditure, it is for the day-to-day maintenance of the government. As you know, government is making payment of salary, government is making payment of pension, government is paying scholarship, government is giving subsidy, and many more. In all these expenditures, you see, neither government is creating any asset, nor the liability of a government is reduced. Therefore, it is revenue expenditure. But in case of a capital expenditure, you see, as the roads are constructed, schools, dams, and bridges are constructed, or an branch of ISRO is constructed or set up in Kolkata, or procuring war fights or jets from different countries, expansion of highway, maybe from 4 lanes to 6 or 8 lanes, whatever it may be. You see, assets are created. Or suppose government will repay the existing loan taken from external side, maybe IMF, maybe World Bank, maybe foreign government. So if the government is repaying the debt, it is a part of capital expenditure. I think you are all clear about revenue expenditure and capital expenditure, revenue receipt and capital receipt. Now you see revenue receipts. The revenue receipts may be categorized under two heads, that is tax revenue and non-tax revenue. Dear children, you know that tax is a compulsory payment. It is imposed means it has to be paid. There is no question of defying the tax or evading the tax. Evading tax is very serious and punishable, and the fine and the penalty is very high. So no one dares to evade the tax. And non-tax revenue. So other than direct tax and indirect tax, the government has a large source of income. For example, you see, government can generate income by imposing fees and fines for infringement of rules and regulations. Government may generate income from supplying goods and services. For example, by providing electricity, government takes electricity bill. By providing water, government takes water charges. By supplying railway services, government generate income. That's why these are all commercial revenue. And if we take the administrative revenue into consideration, you will find a lot of administrative revenues that goes to government. Fees, fines and penalties, forfeiture, estates, like this. So, you see, in the entire revenue receipts, in the entire structure of revenue receipts, you notice one point, there is neither the liability of repayment by government, nor there is a reduction in asset of the government. So, if we go to your revenue expenditure, as we have discussed, it is salaries, pensions, interest payment, and let's see your capital budget. In capital budget, you will find capital receipts as well as capital expenditure. So in capital receipt, you see there are three subheads. One is your recovery of loan, another is your borrowing, and third one is your disinvestment. Dear children, one thing you must notice that if someone repays loan for the creditor, it is the recovery of loan. Suppose Mr. X, being a creditor, gave rupees 100 to Mr. Y, being the debtor. When Mr. Y, being the debtor, repays the loan or borrowed amount to Mr. X, to the creditor, so for Mr. X, it becomes recovery of loan. So earlier it was the asset of X, and when Mr. X get it recovered and spent, it means your reduction of asset. So therefore, recovery of a loan is a part of reduction of asset. For example, central government had given loan to the government of Odisha, and for some purpose or for some urgency, now the central government asked the government of Odisha to repay the loan, and loan is recovered by the government of India and it is spent. That means earlier asset of the government of India is reduced. And you come to the borrowing, maybe internal, maybe external. So all the borrowings are the liability. Borrowing is associated with two liabilities. Liability of a repayment of a principal amount as well as liability of a repayment of the interest. So one thing you must note down, that interest payment on past borrowing comes under revenue expenditure, whereas repayment of principal amount comes under the capital expenditure. That is why any type of a borrowing, maybe internal, maybe external, it gives rise to liability and it comes under the capital expenditure. Then disinvestment. You all know what is disinvestment. Just refreshing your mind. Disinvestment is the selling of the shares of public sector undertakings, popularly known as PSUs. As you know that the government of India has decided to sell off enter shares of Air India and the income generated, it is coming under the capital receipts because the asset that was in the form of Air India will be reduced. So dear children, capital receipts gives rise to either reduction of asset or creation of liability in the form of borrowing. Then you see your capital expenditure, it gives rise to creation of asset or reduction of liability. As I have already told earlier, if the government will purchase assets of foreign companies, purchase shares of the foreign companies, investment in a different brand companies, naturally, it is the asset for the government. Suppose the government of India decides to expand the 4-lane highways into 8-lane highways. So it is also the creation of asset. And just we have completed, that is reduction of liability by repayment of loan. Dear children, now you see, we will take off the deficit. So as you know, when expenditure exceeds our income, we land in a situation of deficit. As we land in the situation of deficit, so also the government also finds deficit. So for deficit is concerned, we have 4 categories of deficit: budgetary deficit, revenue deficit, fiscal deficit, and a primary deficit. In a budgetary deficit, you will find budgetary estimated expenditure is more than the budgetary estimated receipt. But this situation doesn't happen. Every government wants to bring a balance in the budget. How much is needed for a financial year, that must be generated in that year. That's why we will discuss the different categories of deficit in different accounts. You see revenue deficit. Revenue expenditure exceeds revenue receipts. Fiscal deficit. When total expenditure of the government exceeds non-debt receipts, I am telling once again, non-debt receipts of the government. What are the non-debt receipts? Number 1, revenue receipts. Number 2, recovery of loan. Number 3, disinvestment receipts. When total expenditure of a government exceeds the sum of revenue deficit, recovery of loan, as well as disinvestment receipts, it is called fiscal deficit. Therefore, fiscal deficit is financed by making debt, that is borrowing. That's why the other name of fiscal deficit is borrowing. Dear children, if we will discuss about your primary deficit, it is very simple that primary deficit is equal to fiscal deficit minus interest payment. Now a question will arise in your mind. Sir, do the government borrow to make payment of interest? Absolutely yes. This is because as you see, or as you know, that when you are borrowing some amount, maybe from the money lender, maybe from the bank, the creditor asks that at least you pay the interest. Because if you don't pay the interest, the creditor will lose faith on you. To be faithful, you have to pay the rate of interest first. That means the government also pay interest on its past debt. If situation is worse, if the revenue received does not permit the government to pay the interest on past debt, the government will make borrowing. That's why fiscal deficit is equal to borrowing minus interest payment. So, dear children, thank you a lot for giving me a patience hearing.